Hi everyone! So every Hobbit fan will know there are two countries you need to visit, England and New Zealand. Now a lot of the filming for Hobbit and Lord of the Rings was done in the South Island near Queenstown, but if you're visiting the North Island, there are 5 locations you do want to stop. So when you're flying into the North Island, you're either going to fly into Auckland, but hopefully you're flying into Wellington because Wellington Airport is our first stop. When you come off the plane and you come into the terminal, you're going to find Weta Workshop's handiwork up hanging on the ceiling. It's Gandalf flying on the eagles, and they are full size. The second stop is a free stop, Mount Victoria. Now, if you have time to hunt around for specific locations, there were apparently a handful of scenes that were filmed in Mount Victoria, including Frodo's tree where he's sitting back and smoking a pipe, Race to the Ferry, Shortcut to the Mushrooms, and the Black Rider on the Hill. But if you don't have the time to hunt around for the different locations, fortunately the parks admin for Mount Victoria has put out a little bit of signage for us. You're looking for a path called Hobbits Hideaway. Now the way we got to Mount Victoria, we walked up Majora Bank Street. We got to the top. Before you head up the stairs, there is the signage there so you really can't get lost, but turn right and walk along the road for just a little bit. You're going to keep the dog park green area to your left, and as it comes up, keep following that around. Then you're going to hang right and hike a little bit until you get to a post that says Hobbits Hideaway. Now the scene that was filmed here was the get off the road scene. Now the tree that they had where the hobbits hide under was actually created by Weta Workshop, so it's actually not a real tree, but the whole scene was filmed there, so at least you can stand and walk along that path and appreciate the work that was done. Stop number 3 in Wellington is the Weta Cave and Tour. Now there's 2 parts. You can just go into the Weta Cave and they have a little mini museum that's free. And obviously there's also the shops there so you can go and buy all your little Hobbit bits and pieces to take home. T-shirts, magnets, you get the idea. The other part is the Weta Tour. And this, I have to say, is amazing. And I say this, yes, I'm a Hobbit fan, but I was traveling with someone who sometimes gets Gandalf confused with Dumbledore and vice versa. So if they were able to enjoy it, I'm sure anyone you travel with is going to enjoy it as well. They do an amazing job. They have staff who give you the tour. Unfortunately, for copyright reasons, we weren't able to bring in a camera to give a tour of what they show us. They take you through the whole process of making the props, the different departments who deal with it. They allow you to handle some props, and they also talk about the other movies they've worked on, because Hobbit and Lord of the Rings is not the only stuff that they've done. So if you're humming and hawing about it, whether someone's going to enjoy it or not, just go do the tour. It is well worth it. So after Wellington, we hit the road. We were heading to Upper and Lower Hutt, which is the location of Katoki Regional Park, otherwise known as Rivendell. Now, you do not need to do your research before going to Katoki Regional Park. Getting there, the signage is very clear. Then when you actually get to the park, and everything is explained to you. They've got large signage that tells you if you stand in one location and look in one direction, you can see the location of where they filmed, and they'll say, you know, you can see this tree and that tree, and they give so much detail. It's just a little small walk, so it's nothing strenuous for anyone. And there's a few signs, so you can walk around just like this little loop area, and they explain the different scenes and how they were filmed. So our 5th and final stop is Hobbiton. Now this is something that you're going to want to do if you are driving up to Auckland to fly out, or if you have flown into Auckland and have time to drive down to Hobbiton and spend some time there. I cannot explain how exciting it is. It is just, oh my gosh, it is amazing. You just want to spend so much time there. Now I will say you will want to book ahead of time. I've known people who have gone there and it has been easy to book a ticket when you actually arrive, and I have also been there when it is jam-packed. And just do yourself a favor, book in advance, that way you know you've got a time. So when you get there, even if you've printed off tickets, you're going to go and get those switched out for your proper Hobbiton tickets. They're going to pop you on a bus and they are going to drive you into Hobbiton. So you're going to have a tour guide when you get there. They are going to walk you around Hobbiton. They are going to tell you all these amazing stories about how the films were shot, how things were built. It is just incredible. You get to see the buildings, you get to walk through and see like the little gardens, which they have full-time gardeners, and it is, oh, It is beautiful. Just make sure you've got your camera, make sure you've got your battery backed up, make sure you've got extra memory because you are going to be wanting to photograph everything. But I will say my favorite thing is the Green Dragon Inn. So you actually get to go in and it's part of your ticket. You get a complimentary drink and you can actually buy these bottles afterwards once you get to the store as well. You get a choice. They have a ginger beer that's non-alcoholic, fine grain amber ale, and a Jack Fill cider. The only downside is you really are on limited time, so when you go into the Green Dragon Inn, get in there, have your drink, because you're going to have basically just minutes to enjoy it, and then basically you have to head back out and head back to the tour bus, and you don't get to just lag behind and wait for the next bus. You really do need to get going. But there is another way I found to spend a little bit more time at the Green Dragon Inn. I found that they actually do banquet evening tours. So this is where you get to do the tour, but you're paying extra to also have a meal at the Green Dragon Inn. But you do need to check on what days they run the banquet tours. At the moment it is Wednesdays and Sundays throughout the year, and then in summer times they add in some extra days as well. Just remember, in New Zealand the summers are December to February, not the other way around because it's in the southern hemisphere. But either way, whether you are wanting to do just the Hobbiton tour or do the banquet tour, it is a must stop for any Hobbit lover. So for any of you who are heading to New Zealand, I hope you guys have an amazing time. I know I did, and make sure you take lots of photos and share them with us. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I will see you in the next one.